You're laughing at my 94-year-old grandmother? You didn't ask me for a stock pick, man.
We just talked about like 5.
F this. Well.
And just like that, it's episode 10.
Is that right? Is it 10?
The Markets Podcast. That went by very.
What do we do when we run out of fingers? Oh, go to toes.
Toes.
Okay, good. Toes.
10 more of those to go.
All right.
You know, I read an
halfway
article,
there.
I read an article before we started this saying that most podcasts don't last till the 20th episode. So
all right.
maybe
so
that's why they run out of fingers and toes.
All right, now it makes sense. Now it's making sense. The problem. It's not, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but we're not going to run out of stuff to talk about.
No, never.
You know,
never.
The market, we love the market, and that's why we're here, and hopefully that's why everybody else is here. What a week.
Yeah, what a week it's turning into. We're recording this on Thursday night. The market across the board looking to bounce back to a positive week, Sean, coming off of what has been a little bit of volatility. We get retail sales this week. We get... a Michigan sentiment print that's going to come up on Friday. That's really the only thing as far as economic concerns. But going into next week, there's a ton, a whole bunch of central banks coming out with interest rate decisions, including our very own Bank of Canada is going to make an interest rate decision next Wednesday.
I got to re-up the mortgage, I think, in...
They're not going to cut.
No, it's a problem.
When is yours? When's yours up?
I want to think May, but that seems too early.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Nah, but it's...
You got a guy?
No.
Okay.
No. Where's that Powell thing? We got to hit the Powell thing. No, I don't got a guy. But the mortgage, it's not super huge. So. Yeah. It'll be fine. But the thing is, that is a problem.
For a lot of people.
Obviously, and here in Canada, of course, we can do like 5-year mortgages. We don't have that 30 years. You're always re-upping. You all right with your pen there? Yeah. No, I'm not too worried. I actually saw the mortgage rates in the U.S. actually tick down. The lowest mark was December. I think it was mid-December. We got down to 6%. Now you're back up to 6.
That's amazing.
That's so amazing, right? You know what my mortgage rate is? I honestly think it's 1.79 or something like that. It's that ridiculous.
You're gonna hate me.
No, why? What is yours? I mean, that's great.
1.25.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
I lied. Mine's 1.2.
It's crazy.
I know, and now
we have to go and renew at 6.5, 7.
Yeah, so I got the email. Yeah, no, it wasn't that high. I think it was 5 and change.
Okay.
But the United States peaked at about 9.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I just saw the print, I think yesterday or the day before, the average mortgage now, and I don't know the details on it, but the average rate was about 6.8. So we have something here in Canada, the first home buyers, I think it's called first home buyers. It has there's a taxable thing there. I wonder if this, and I don't know if it would work in the United States because, again, the length of the mortgages are so long, but what about giving everybody an opportunity to basically have a 0% mortgage or a 1% mortgage for their first mortgage? That would have people into houses earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to solve all the problems here. So one at a time. Yeah, we have lots of time to do this as well. But the thing is like, wouldn't that be kind of cool if you're fresh out of university or fresh out of school, you have that $100,000 maybe saved up, but then because the mortgage rate is so high, you can't make those monthly payments. So give everybody that first opportunity, Brendan, to possibly have I don't know what the percentage could be, but the government, instead of giving a taxable benefit, could help pay the differences. I mean, the banks, what are they making every quarter? We're going to talk about that. I mean, they can help out the.
You know, I was having a conversation with someone who you know very well, who is here.
Okay.
And he was telling me about a conversation that he was having at a party on the weekend with friends in his.
That guy was at a party. That's a surprise.
Yeah, never happens. With friends of his in his neighborhood, and he was saying the average uptick in mortgage payments.
I'm scared to hear this.
Is 5 figures. So
5 figures.
Like
what?
Like $10,000 increases on mortgage payments with these people renewing.
People that are having to renew. So how can you honestly, how can people afford that?
It's insane.
People are way over levered, and the housing crisis continues. I mean,
anyway, I wanted to jump in.
PCE was Friday, the next Friday.
That's the big one.
I was just looking at it. It's PCE, and then it's what you and Frank talked about today. GDP is on Thursday. So
it's a prelim number, though. So it's, with GDP,
they always revise them.
With GDP, we get interim, in the period. They do biweekly ones as well. So yeah, it'll give us a look at. I mean, if you remember going back to last quarter, it was 4.8% was the last GDP print in the U.S., or 4.6% or something like that.
Under or over? I don't even.
It was a little bit under,
right,
but still,
so, yeah.
the economy's growing at 4.6%. Like it's still so strong.
Yeah, the only problem I have is unemployment. There's nothing else. It's at 4%. It's at great levels.
Yeah.
I just worry as people lose jobs, how are they going to pay those 5-figure upticks in mortgage rates? I mean, I just honestly.
Let's be honest, they're not.
This is the January effect. Like when I saw my automatic bill payment go through today, 5 figures for the credit card for the month, I said to myself, what the hell am I doing? But then we had Christmas. Yeah. I got those season seats for the hockey.
That time of year.
We got all of that going through.
Was that a Christmas gift or was that?
No, that was just because
Just because.
Because, man, come on. I'm just so proud of my daughter and her hockey. I mean, don't make me show that clip again, but that was, follow me on Twitter. I'm over the moon with that, and that's part of why we're doing this on Thursdays, because I'm out of here. And you told me you're waking up at 4:30 every day anyways, so now I don't feel like tomorrow at 4:30 is that big of a problem. So I'm gonna go through it like I was really dreading it. But you're to bed at 9 and 10.
At least, if not
earlier.
I mean,
but when are you falling asleep?
Last night I was falling asleep at like 8:30.
That was one of your good things. Heavy blanket, wasn't it? One of the ones with
a weighted blanket. Yeah. No,
how was that? Because I got one for my
amazing.
94-year-old grandmother.
It's amazing.
She don't like it.
Really?
Too heavy. Why is that funny, Ramin? You're laughing at my 94-year-old grandmother?
I don't know. It knocks me out like that.
No, I should try it too. Yeah. But yeah, for her, it was a little uncomfortable.
That's too bad.
I don't know.
You got to get the right weight, I think, for the...
You're a heavy sleeper, or you just, like, once you're down, the next time you're waking up is 4:30?
No, I'm telling you, it was 8:45 last night. I couldn't keep my eyes open.
Yeah, that's good, though.
Yeah. But then
8:40, they say you need, what, 10 hours? So you're getting...
10?
Well, 10 is a lot.
I would pay a lot of money for 10
Yeah, but you're going 8:45 to 4:30. That's eight
No,
hours.
but I mean, 8:45, I was falling asleep on the couch. Like watching TV.
Right.
Get ready.
Yeah.
It was 9:30 before you...
What does your dog do? Just lies with you on your lap, or you let him on the couch?
He sleeps, at night?
At all times.
No, he has his own. He's 70 pounds. He doesn't fit on the couch.
Oh, okay. What about when he sleeps? Not jumps on the bed?
No, he has his own.
All right.
His own bed. All right, let's talk markets here. A few things to digest from this week. One of those that I wanted to mention was Bitcoin related. I just brought up Lennar here because we were talking about mortgages and people buying houses. And these are still so strong. This is a weekly chart. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
You were in on that.
I was. I sold this thing way back here when it got to highs again.
Yeah, I did that before.
And then, here we are at 155. But yeah, I'm sitting here waiting. This is a weekly chart.
Why are we selling anything?
It's crazy. Never selling anything again.
I mean, look, they're not making anything but more houses. You can only build on land. You can't create more land. So I really like those things. I have the KBH here. I want the XHB. I was going to say KB Homes is another one hitting those highs as well. But this is the home builders. You are kind of barcoding up here right now. I feel like, in between 90 to 95, it's got to make it up its mind. But once we break it out through here, then I think it's full speed ahead. Look, especially here in Canada, and I'm not going to get political or anything, but immigration is still happening. We have more and more, and I don't know why we have to get political. It's a fact. People need places to live.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like...
It's a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem. It's going to be really expensive. Yeah. If you want to live in the city, unfortunately, I think a new home or a new build is probably where you're going to have to flow through. And honestly, with these rates, we just talked about that. It's crazy. A lot of home builders, Brendo, are giving discounts on the mortgage, so they're basically sponsoring your mortgage, something like that, to get you in the door, give you a better rate in hopes that the government eventually, well, it's not the government, but FOMC would get these rates back down. And I don't know if that's going to happen, to be honest with you.
I mean, I feel like we get back to a more normal, if you will, area. Like, is 3.5 not a good spot that we could maybe settle at and be at for...
In Canada or just in general?
Just in general. I mean, and that's as a benchmark rate. So, you're getting a mortgage at 4.25. I mean, my first mortgage was, I think, 5, like 4.75, 5%.
It goes up and down, sure.
Going back years. So
I just think you need to be diligent. Like, if you're recognizing that the rates are coming back down and they're now going to be at a comfortable level, just refinance. I know that sucks. Yeah. There's a lot of paperwork involved, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. And
you'll do yourself a favor.
But you know what? Like, you mentioned that about going to that party. Like, I'm surfing like Zillow, or we have here MLS, the realtor. I don't really see like that much difference in some of the housing prices that are going through right now.
At all.
Like, I don't feel like it's being flooded. I don't feel like anything has dramatically changed despite the rates changing.
Which
I
means,
think it's because people are comfortable in their shoes because they're employed.
Yeah, and it also means that when we do start getting those cuts and the move back down,
probably boom.
It's just going to go back up. Bitcoin did not go back up.
No, it did not.
As of the end of the day here on a Thursday. This is, again, a weekly chart of BTC. We get a bit of a topping tail. This is actually the market cap. I'm not sure why I'm looking at the market cap chart, but...
Market cap of the whole crypto space, or?
No, just Bitcoin itself. Here,
that would work.
Let me do that. There we go.
Market cap should follow price, right?
More or less. Yeah, I mean, it's the same chart, just different pricing on the side. Anyway, we touch 48,000 and above coming off the ETF news. We're back down for the second week in a row. There was an interesting chart when it comes to...
But it's
ETFs.
obvious. This chart is kind of ridiculous, no?
Like money coming out. So this is inflows and outflows. This is zero. It's tough to see there, but maybe I can zoom in a bit. That's zero, obviously. So blue is grayscale.
Yeah.
GBTC. So everyone's selling grayscale and buying up the other ones.
Are they? I don't. I mean, they're getting involved in the other ones. The other ones got GBTC already existed before.
So they're taking this opportunity then to sell.
They're just selling.
Yeah.
You can't sell IBIT. That's the most ridiculous chart I've ever seen, unless I'm just misreading it. What kind of outflows could happen in a brand new ETF?
No, but it's showing you, I think, and
people not going selling short. Maybe.
No, but this also goes back to the fee structure. Remember,
Grayscale. I don't know what. Well, that was
Grayscale
was
by far the highest.
Yeah. No, we talked about that. I mean, we talked about IBIT. We talked about HODL, and I just said honestly, I feel like for me, I think, remember we talked about fee holidays?
Yeah.
They were all at 0.3 anyways, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5.
For the first, yeah.
So I really feel like if you're paying like that small of a management fee, it doesn't really matter. I would say you just pick whichever one does the most volume, therefore you know it's the most liquid. We have big players in this like BlackRock, we have Vanguard, the iShares.
Fidelity.
They're all there. They're all going to be well backed and well supported.
Yeah.
And now we know that they're approved. So you can hold them in your registered accounts and be fine with it. My only thing here is you come to my screen with Bitcoin. You mentioned this last week, and we left the show. We had that high of 49,000. I think it was pretty much as we were doing the show, pretty much was that day or the day. Yeah, it was a week ago today, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. Yeah, so including the weekend. So a couple days before we hit that high, we knew it was going to fade out. I mean, check Uber, right? I mean, these are just events that happen throughout the course of an asset, and in this case, an asset class here, where you get so much rumor and so much excitement of something happening. Everybody buys ahead, and then unfortunately, I hate to say this because it's not me, but smart money, I feel like, Brendo, saw this move up and then just kept on hammering it out. And they know that traders are going to have weak hands because they always tend to do that.
Yeah.
Retail anyways. I don't know about Bitcoin because Bitcoin seems to be held more than stocks. But sell it down, get people to join the party with you on the sell side, and then pick it back up. That's why when we look at this chart, I said last week, I think 37, 38. The last little consolidation period goes all the way back to November, right? So you just kind of say all of December is washed out right now as we're back down to 40,500. I think you can get into 36, 37, somewhere in there, back to those October, November levels. And that's where I think if you're looking to buy Bitcoin, you do it then for that next move up because we get Ethereum.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that in the sense that is this the party's over, or is this rotation from Bitcoin into Ethereum ahead of what is going to be Ethereum ETFs? It's the obvious.
The thing is, I heard summer. So if you think that this sort of started happening, maybe if you come back over to the chart, I mean, it was basically October when we broke through this $28,000, $30,000 mark. So give that runway 3 months. Yeah. So if we're going to happen, have you heard anything? I thought I heard July, but I don't know.
I mean, there was a couple of notes on derivative products around Bitcoin.
Oh, you know what?
ETFs on derivatives of Bitcoin instead of BTC. So maybe they're going that route first.
So you come over to my chart right here. I just want to talk about ETHE. So this is going to be the next name that goes, right? So we saw GBTC flip over from pink sheets or OTC markets over to, instead of a trust, over to the ETF. So you got the same thing here with ETHE. Today, guys, down 6% and well off the highs. So $23, Brendo, at that same time of Bitcoin 49. Look at that, nice move back in, man. That's 20%, right? 23 down to 19, shave $4 off 23, and I think we get a little bit lower. And hey, if you're getting excited, this is the 50-period moving average right here, right now at $18. I think you can buy it. I don't know what that equates with as a price, but ETHE, $18, somewhere probably around $2,100, $2,200 for Ethereum.
What becomes overkill here? I mean, does it get to a point where there's so many of these, they're just lost in the mix, and it just becomes a...
Well, you talked about XLK versus Qs versus all of that.
It's the same theory, essentially.
I think eventually, so what I think eventually is if they don't see the volume, the managers of this, like for example, not BlackRock, but if yeah, what was the other one?
Fidelity's one.
Fidelity might be the...
ARK.
Okay, let's just say ARK is the least one, and then all of a sudden Kathy says, you know what, it's too expensive to run this. Yeah. We're not getting the inflows, the management fees, nothing. Yeah. Maybe they scrap it, but I don't see why they need to do that.
2.6 billion, I think I saw this week of inflows specifically.
And they only approved 12 of the 20 applications or something, so I mean, are there more coming through? I think you're right, probably overkill. Yeah, good,
all right.
Question.
Let's talk some bank earnings here. I don't want to beat this to death because we've discussed it so much. If you're seeing this for the first time, first off, hit the like, guys, and go down and leave a comment below. Let us know what you'd like to hear on the podcast. Guests around the corner, possibly. Guests.
Yeah, you want to have some? Yeah, put in the comments who you'd like to see. Like, I'd like to have Elon on here, but people in the chat were like, get Elon Musk and Kathy Wood, and I think I think eventually we might be setting the bar a little high. Yeah, a little high.
It's a good goal, though. I like it. It's a good goal.
Maybe we have Sharif. No, but honestly, though, I've spoken with Mr. Wonderful.
Right. He's down.
He's down for sure. We've talked to a few other people that have been on different podcasts as well. We've had JC on the recap show.
Yeah. He was on Friday. He was on, you were off, but he was on the afternoon on Friday.
He was? How was that?
Yeah,
How did I not know that?
Great.
You mentioned he was coming on. I love his accent, man. I love that guy. Yeah. Always bullish and always straight to the point. Numbers don't lie. But yeah, I think guests will be cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's coming. It's coming, guys. Just baby steps.
We can we can have Ramin on here.
One of the things, no. Ramin's busy. Leave Ramin alone.
My bad.
One of the things that we talked about with JC was the banks. And he specifically pointed out JP Morgan, as one tends to do, as the leader in the group. We saw a breakdown there of their quarter. Give me your thoughts here.
I didn't even, honestly, all the banks came super quickly.
Seemed like a non-event.
The run-up into the banks, we saw, and I wrote this down. I mean, here, let's look at Citigroup. I know you want to talk about JP Morgan, but I don't. Look, the biggest money center bank, I mean, I think you're going to want to stay long JP Morgan. We actually had Jamie Dimon just the other day talking again about a flurry of, like, I don't know why he always uses weather and stuff like that, but there's like another tornado hurricane coming. And he was talking about 24, 25, so maybe push it down the line a little bit here. And if anybody knows anything about the way interest rates and deposits and all that were going to affect bank earnings, I think it would be Jamie Dimon. But I wrote down here Citigroup. Okay, Brendan. Citigroup went from its October lows of $38. I mean, check this chart out. Everything in October, this is kind of cherry picking going down to the very, very bottom here. But that's when everything turned around. That's 44%. That's 44% from its lows of $38 up to its high just before earnings of $55. You get 44% in a bank, Brendo, after 2.5 months. That's huge. Not even, that's from October, beginning of November. So November, December, 2 months, 44%. They had to absolutely annihilate the earnings. Yeah. None of the banks seem to have done that. BAC, a simple pullback as well. But we're getting very interesting because you're pulling back to levels where I think you can buy them. If you're not long the banks, you're now getting a 10% haircut on Citigroup from the top. You're getting a 10% haircut on BAC from the top as well. Bank of America's top 35 all the way down there to $31. I like that. That's more than 10% pulling back in. And I just wrote down some things. One-off charges, $3.7 billion for Bank of America. One-off. I like that. I like that terminology. One-off. Yeah. So we don't expect that again. So that affects their numbers. I wrote down WFC here. They warned of a 7 to 9% drop in their net interest income. That's a problem, 7 to 9%. So that's coming off their numbers as well. Yeah. JP Morgan, I actually didn't write down anything.
It was a record year.
So yeah,
JP Morgan doing JP Morgan type things.
The minute I heard a guy, and again, Sharif's investor, fine. Everyone and their mother was wanting to get into XLF and get into these banks because everyone thought the NASDAQ really got going, which it did. Okay, look at XLF right here.
Yeah,
so the thing about XLF is, it's actually, and I didn't even realize this until I did it live on the show, 13% of it is Berkshire, BRK.B.
It's the biggest one.
Of which, half of BRK.B is Apple, which has nothing to do with...
Hey, they have Apple Pay.
Which Goldman Sachs is booting to the... Goldman Sachs. So anyways, you know, we looked that up. That seemed a little bit strange to me. But again, Berkshire does have insurance properties,
a ton.
Financial properties as well in it. Yeah. So for me, I like XLF because of that Apple exposure, to be honest with you. But yeah, a simple pullback. I think you want to play this with the ETFs instead of the individual names. Yeah. I like the XLF. But again, what I was getting at there was the most crowded trades sometimes, guys, are the ones to avoid and maybe take the other way. We talked about that when everyone was really, really short or really long Japanese equities. Maybe that's been pulled back. You've seen a little bit of pullback in that as well. Right now, a lot of people short oil. A lot of people talking about what's going on with oil. Why are we at 52-week lows? Why is XOM at 52-week lows? We have all this problem in the Red Sea. So maybe it's time to buy. You showed me that missile of hitting that tankard there. Didn't even seem like a nothing burger.
It was the remnants. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like it's not a big deal because it's obviously these people are trying to do their jobs, but it's the way that the media makes it out to be seems to be a lot more severe. And maybe I'm wrong, but some of the
problem with energy is what we're producing in the United States.
And who knows if that picture is even real at this point? I mean, what can you trust?
Isn't that? Let's talk about that real quick because we're going to talk about Apple. I assume I never heard of them, but we're going to do it. AI, again, something else.
Is insane.
Is insane. The AI is insane. But the thing is like, I'm actually worried about this heading into an election cycle, to be honest with you, because like you can now produce so much fake news.
Yeah.
And I know Trump used to say fake news and all this kind of thing. But now it's real, I feel like. Yeah. You're gonna see pictures. Yeah. Like I remember the AI wasn't even that good, but there was a picture, I think this was a couple of years ago. They had Trump like walking out in handcuffs. It was not real at all. No. It was like completely fake. So I just think that in this world, unfortunately, and I'm probably one of them, we're not the smartest people. We fall for a lot of things.
Sure. So, and if you look at these things just, off the bat, just real quick, at a glance, it's hard to distinguish what is believable. What is real and what isn't.
Write articles. They could put Brendan. Like if someone showed me a picture of you skiing, I would say that's Brendan skiing. You may be here at the office, but I'll be like, where is that guy? And it's just some of those things. I'm a little bit nervous about it having younger kids. Like I think artificial intelligence is pretty crazy, but also I think it's going to help us be more productive, honestly, at the end of the day.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. I wanted to just go out to a higher time frame here real quick on the XLF because I think time frame matters.
Yeah, and I only had the daily up.
That's a weekly chart.
Yeah.
So if you go back to where the vertical cursor is here, that's May of 21.
We haven't done anything.
So since May of 21, this thing has basically gone sideways.
Yep.
In a huge range, obviously, but has gone sideways. Yeah. So yes, they've been strong over the past 6 months or so, but perspective matters, I think, for XLF. I still have it, but I don't know what to do.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Hold it. That's it. Done.
No, of course, but
Well, you're not selling anything anymore, remember?
No, I'm not. It's a promise. All right. Chips. Should we talk?
You're gonna sell something.
Tech here?
No.
Already?
Okay, tech. What do I wrote down here? Oh.
I mean, let's start with chips because it's been an impressive week. What?
No, I was gonna say we just went through CES.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Let's talk about chips because
I mean,
so much happening.
TSM with an absolute monster report. Taiwan Semi kicks things off. We got to wait a little bit for NVDA and AMD. I got to double check, but there's still a few weeks out. They're usually later on in the cycle, anyways.
Feb 21, NVIDIA.
Yeah, so it is later in the month of February.
AMD Jan 30.
Oh, so it is the last week.
Remember NVIDIA was the one that we were all waiting for in November. NVIDIA is about a month
It's always later in the cycle. So we get Apple, Meta, AMD.
It's going to be awesome.
All that week. It's going to be monstrous. And the Fed, by the way, that week too. So the market could be a bit of a mess. Anyways.
Fed, in my opinion, is irrelevant.
SMH, we'll talk about that. Okay. SMH here real quick on a weekly time frame, all-time highs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you buy this?
I've been saying forever. We had Chris Bretcher on. We had, I think, JC. I even asked him about that. I said, in the old school thinking was that the transports was a good indicator of the economy and the breadth of the stock market, because again, if you're shipping more goods, across the United States and the rails are going well, then you knew that everything, retail would probably go well, also energy space, things like that, right? But I feel like over the last definitely couple of years, we've really wanted to look at the SMH and the SOX and stuff like that, and just ETFs that include these chips. And the reason why we want to do that is because the Internet of Things, that's not even, people aren't even really talking about that completely yet. Me and you talk about it a little bit, but there's so much that's in the pipeline right now that I feel, especially this next earnings report. Remember the last one, there was like AI counts, like, okay, Satya Nadella mentioned it, from Microsoft CEO, of course, mentioned it 56 times. I'm just throwing the number out there. And then Tim Cook mentioned it 0 times. And Zuckerberg, that was the beginning right now. So now we're getting into more and more talk. And at CES, they were displaying some different things that you could do. That Samsung had that see-through TV, like as if it's an actual hologram.
That was crazy.
Well, Brendo, you can
literally put your hand behind the screen, so the screen is here. The back will drop away, and you can see your hand.
I don't know. I don't know about any of that. I think it's going to be ridiculous. I think the technology that's coming through, we'll talk about it with Apple and what that means. But what I'm getting at is chips are going to be here for a very, very long time. And until one of these chip makers, I guess, producers, report something about an oversupply, then I'm not worried about this.
Yep. Here is what has happened so far, 23 to 24. This is NVIDIA specifically.
What is that? Market cap, oh wow.
Everything.
3.5 times last year.
No, but everyone was saying when we got that initial gap on the daily chart for NVIDIA, and then it kind of had just gone sideways for a few months on that initial earnings report that included the AI projections and the forecast, which they crushed.
How long ago do you think that was?
Crushed again. 2 quarters?
A little long, May of 23.
Yeah.
But that is...
But 2 quarters, like 2 quarters
ago. Actually, that's right.
Yeah, 2 earnings reports.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And now here we are, not only taking out that high, but then some at this point. And here's the market cap. This is just increase.
Yeah.
Just increase.
So what we're looking at right now is, it was 56.2 billion in 2023, now 128 billion.
But that's the gain.
Oh, that's the gain. Oh, yeah. The market cap's way bigger than that.
Yeah, way bigger. But that's just in, what day is today? January 18th.
Yeah. And like you said, man, we're just like 200 days away from that report. Like that was May. We're only 200 trading days away, and it's gained insane amounts.
Like, it's crazy.
And it's going higher. Yeah. Look at this chart for NVIDIA. We bounced off the 50-period moving average right here at 453. That's fantastic. It came back in, bounced off again at 474. The only thing is, all of these pullbacks, that's earnings right there. That's earnings right there. So I feel like the next time we have earnings, are we doing the same kind of thing? We're worried about pullbacks for earnings. For me, I feel as if we are still waiting, and I hate to say the C word, China, because if those bans become something more serious, and I know they've got a workaround there.
Chip bans, you mean?
Chip bans, right. And being able to ship those over to China, and then the demand. How about this? AMD, Brendo, just came up with chips that are going to be battling some of the higher level ones for NVIDIA. All right, if you had an order for $1 million worth of these NVIDIA higher end chips, then all of a sudden Lisa Su phones you up. It won't be her. A salesperson from AMD phones you up.
Maybe
and is like, look, we know that you're all about that. I'll give you the exact same performance and guarantee it for 40% less.
I was going to say 10 even, but...
Well, whatever it is. I don't know what we have to look it up, but AMD's chips are less.
Yeah, why not?
They're performing at high levels.
Why not?
So for me, I want to see the next quarter for NVIDIA. Are some of those orders that they're booking, are they cancelable? Will they be canceled? Will they be fulfilled? I mean, I think they'll be fulfilled. I think there's enough supply. We got Taiwan Semi today ripping through.
Just a monster.
Yeah, so I feel like the supply will be there. I would now worry about oversupply. A couple of years ago, we had supply chain issues. Now we could have the other way around. Maybe we're just too damn efficient right now at making these things.
I showed that note this afternoon on the live show. If you haven't yet, join us for the live show.
Yeah.
Any day the stock market's open, we're live on YouTube. So come hang out. I showed a note of Meta's holdings.
Yes,
going into
right.
the
I
end
heard
of
you bring that to us today.
Going into the end of this year, they're looking at 300,000 H100s.
Yes. Wow.
And then 650,000 H100 equivalents on top of that 300,000. So almost 1 million of these chips Meta has just in the closet, I guess, waiting to be deployed.
So do they have them, or that's on order?
Well, I mean, he's saying by the end of 2020.
They will have all of those deployed. Yeah, and if they're all going to be NVIDIAs, that's great. I just feel like maybe he switches them up.
They're 40,000 a pop.
Look at Meta's chart, dude.
For those H100s.
Meta's chart, this is a weekly chart. In October, so you're talking about 14 months ago, Brendan, this hit a 9 handle, $90. 14 months ago. Is that the right math? Sorry.
Am I wrong in saying this has
20 months ago.
This has been very quiet.
It's more than that still. October 22, it was. October 22, 12 months.
Impressive nonetheless.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm right. I was right the first time, 14 months. Yeah.
But it's been quiet. Like, not a lot of people are saying, oh my God, Meta, oh my God, Meta, oh my God, Meta. More people are saying, look at all the chips, look at all the chips, look at all the chips. And oh yeah, Apple got an upgrade today and did things.
I think what I'm trying to get at is this thing is up 4x in 14 months.
No, I get it.
No, but what I'm saying is the market doesn't care.
And it's been very, very
They're rewarding these
secondary.
guys for spending all this money.
100%. Yes.
The thing is what are you going to do? Sit on cash? I feel like Apple always gets sort of beat up because they just have so much cash and they never deploy it. Look, it's great when you're getting 5% on your cash. But Meta taking this move, because what if NVIDIA ups the prices?
And they will.
And they will. Yeah. So these guys sitting on that. I'm excited for Meta, man, because honestly, this Vision Pro I think is going to be huge, and it's going to change the way people use their accessories, the Oculus, the Vision Pro, everything's going to come together. And I honestly think Meta, there's some kind of a deal that happens somewhere. I don't know if it's with Disney, I don't know what, but there's going to be a content deal for Apple or for Meta that's going to blast off this Oculus or this Vision Pro. I'm super pumped about all of this, in case you can't.
Do we see a next-gen Meta headset that all of a sudden comes in the $1,500, $1,800 range instead of, what is it now, $499 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit more, but the thing about it is we had that Dan Ives, we were listening to him talk, and he thinks that eventually the Apple Vision Pro comes into that range.
Exactly.
And yeah. But the thing is like, remember, and this is the example that he used, when the iPhone first came out, sure it was like $700 or $800, but it was like double the next thing.
Right.
You know, and then their next release, they put it up like maybe $100, like the iPhone 2, or I don't know what it's called at that point, SE or something, okay? So then that came up a little bit more. Then Samsung came out with a product that was in the same price range because it had the same features. Yep. And then all of a sudden, Apple added better cameras, so they added 50 more bucks. And then the next thing you know, they added a better screen and they added 150 more. And then they create this sort of mass movement towards the upgrade cycle. So yeah, I mean, I think that at some point, because we have the second Oculus, I believe, so it's not the most latest iteration, it's the one before that. It's still fantastic. My kid loves it. You can still get all the apps. But at some point, as you know, you have the new Pixel, and I have the iPhone 12, which I need to upgrade. I'm waiting for that new cycle. They slow down. I mean, at some point, the hardware that you have becomes almost irrelevant.
And we were talking about that a little bit today, in the sense that it gets to a point where what more can they possibly improve upon? Can they add another camera? Can they add a better screen? Can they add, you know, this year they had that, what's it called, the button that you can literally link to any app or any, I forget what it's called.
Is it Apple?
Yeah, and they replaced that mute button with the
that's right. You can do that. Yeah. Right. You push.
And you can link it to anything.
Yeah, start your car.
I saw some people had ChatGPT.
Yes, it's
the voice-activated ChatGPT linked to the action button.
All coming, baby. Anyway. We talked about that with your Google headset there. You walk into a Starbucks and asks you what you want. Like little things like that. You train it.
No, you can translate with it too.
And translate, but it learns with you.
It's insane. But
are we not excited about the technology? I'm super excited.
I can't even figure out how to use it. How do I get
20 years younger? They need to build like that.
I need Ramin with me all the time just to explain
what's happening.
Because it's.
I know, like when we don't, thankfully our kids aren't on TikTok, but it's like, you know, my 9-year-old, and she's just as bad on Instagram Reels or something. She's like, oh, did you see what blah, blah, blah was wearing on her reel? I was like, oh my God. Thank God it's all hockey related.
No, I did not.
Right now, wait till it gets bored.
My cat.
See ya, Cat.
All right, here's...
Cat's on TikTok. You're on TikTok.
Sadly.
Why sadly? Just leave it then. Yeah. But you see, that's a good point, Brendan. See ya, Cat. Have a great weekend.
Why does it have this negative...
Why? No, but why say... Why... And she was just saying that for a joke. But the thing is like, if you don't want to be on something, just get off of it. But the problem is you can't. Right. Because then what the hell are you going to do on your phone?
Have you ever opened an account?
TikTok? Yeah. Other than the one for the show, and then like, all of a sudden someone stole it.
That's another story.
Do not follow at TraderTV Sean on TikTok.
There's an underscore.
No, I've never tried to open up a TikTok. I mean, tried. I was signing up. I didn't like it because of the China stuff.
Exactly.
And I wonder if that was a little bit of Trump stuff in there.
Stuff.
Security,
I think it was.
Huawei.
Sharif is
all over TikTok. What a surprise!
In with both feet and can't get out at this point. But
he can't.
His what's it called now? Doom scrolling.
I don't know what that means.
You get caught in this
like the rabbit hole.
Never-ending TikToks. I wanted to show this graphic. Can we just show this graphic? Does this matter?
What is it?
Who cares?
New king of what? No, who cares? You're right.
It doesn't matter.
So what we're showing right now is just the fact that Microsoft at 2.88 trillion took over Apple at 2.87 trillion. But I bet you that changed today.
Wait a month.
Wait today. I bet you.
Wait an hour. Like, who cares? Yeah, I don't know why people are making such a big deal.
What are they though?
No, but
to me, it's more about the graphic on the right. So on the right, we have combined market cap, and I'm just going to say the names for those of you that aren't watching. Zoom. I have no idea about that other one.
Adobe.
Adobe. Okay. Yeah. McDonald's, ExxonMobil, Visa, Eli Lilly, and then Berkshire.
Berkshire. Okay.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that funny, that symbol?
A weird logo.
I know. You know what? There's actually that logo on DuPont as I'm coming in every day into work. It said Berkshire Hathaway. I was like, that's not Berkshire Hathaway, but it was that logo, so it was.
There's an office. The real estate firm
there's
here.
some kind of an office right there in Yorkville.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So anyways, that was more important to me is that we have basically 5 or 6 major companies that we're all pretty much invested in, and they're just getting dwarfed by these 2 companies. Right. What are you going to do about it? That's the question I have to ask everybody. Nothing. Yeah. Apple is going to continue to grow, as is Microsoft. Microsoft is just starting. I have stats about that too. I mean, wait till we start talking. I mean, maybe we're talking about it now.
I feel like we are.
What's the greatest investment of all time? I have it for you.
A percent return?
I have it. I already have it. I already know what it is.
Wait for it. Wait.
Remember I said the other day that there's absolutely nothing that on the main show. I was like, when's the last time anybody actually wrote anything? Because it used to be checks. Oh, I'm going to, I still would do it. Actually, that's a good point. I make to myself. I always write checks for weddings.
Really?
Well, how else do you do it? What do you just
cash?
You put cash in an envelope?
Why not?
You're not even Italian.
No.
Cash. What do you have cash? So you go to the bank. Is it because you don't have checks?
Probably.
Okay.
It's just easy.
Let us know in the comments, by the way.
Are you a cash or a check kind of a person?
People are putting cash into those.
Hell yeah.
Really?
You got married. You didn't get.
No, I didn't get any cash at all.
I got new friends.
No. I got money.
Yeah.
Cash equivalents in the form of checks.
E-transfers or
shut up, Brendan. Checks. Am I off on this? Fabian?
Was it 1980 or?
Yes, Brendan. The year out. Come on. I was 1 year old, right?
What year did you get married?
Married?
Yeah.
2011.
You had to think about that.
Hey, Marissa.
You nailed it, Marissa.
Yeah, nailed it. It might not even be right. I think it's 2011. Yeah.
I got 5 years on you guys. Wow.
We had our kid the very next year. That was a good move.
Why waste time?
That was it. I was like, part of being Italian, look, you can have a kid out of wedlock, but it was like, as soon as it was done, I was like, I want a kid. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Microsoft. Okay, so listen to this. January 10th, of 2023. Microsoft, year ago.
Like a month ago.
This is 2024, Brendan. This guy's putting cash in. He doesn't know what year it is. All right. $10 billion in ChatGPT investment.
Yes, correct.
Into OpenAI.
Correct.
Into OpenAI.
Wait, wasn't it March? No. March it was launched. Carry on.
Okay. This is why I wrote down, this is why I looked up. It could possibly be wrong. Okay. Returning 1.7 trillion in market cap.
Since then.
$10 billion investment. 1.7 trillion in market cap, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Now, what's changed in that situation? Is Xbox, I mean, Windows?
What's an Xbox?
Exactly. Yeah. Windows, Skype, Microsoft Teams.
Let's just keep naming random Windows products until we come up with something. No.
Yeah, but I mean, the one that we're going to get to is Copilot. At the end of the day, people are anticipating. And look, part of the move up was, we had a huge move up in the stock market. I mean, a lot of companies that have nothing to do with AI are up. Not as much.
They're making a statue of him?
I heard that. In Seattle?
Rightfully so.
Washington?
After that, I think it's outside their, I thought it was outside their headquarters.
So basically, 10 billion into 1.7 trillion. There was actually a thing about, I tweeted out the other day, they're up 1,000% since he took over in 2014. Yeah. Apple also up about 940% or something, but it goes to your point of buying and holding. And I just think that Microsoft's going to have a huge move again to the upside. We'll wait for earnings, but apparently the turnover on the revenue side or on the acceptance side for, I'm looking for businesses, what are we calling that? Enterprise software. They're really, really taking to that. Yeah. And then now we haven't even had the retail side of it yet. They're putting, how about this? They're putting a button on the keyboard.
For ChatGPT, yeah.
So you're just in your Office product and you want it to look at what you're working on, boom. Yeah. You push the button and that's that. Look at this chart.
You can actually do it now. I was reading about that. You can actually do it now, but it's
Control B or
Control something. Or
Windows,
Control C
Windows
or
key, something like that?
Or Windows C, I think you're right.
Something about the Windows key.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be its own.
We don't even know about that yet. That's the point.
It's going to, like the Windows key, it will be its own standalone.
Yeah, you just push it and all of a sudden it's doing your work for you.
It's great.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, here's the chart of Microsoft. I mean, it's been an absolute monster. This is a weekly chart again, bouncing off this 221. That's what we're talking about.
How great a buy was that?
And then there's the move. Just boom to the upside. You're going to have ups and downs, but I just think that you want to stay long these tech names. I don't care about the valuation.
Like, even from a technical aspect, I don't even care about the double bottom into the, what's that, the 200 period?
This, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. Even when it takes back
23.
what's that, the 50?
Yep.
It takes back that 50.
Right here,
yeah. You buy that versus that low?
I almost think that we just delete the thing about it, and we had JC on again. Why not just delete all of these things? The 50 period, the 200 period.
Right.
And you just say this, which companies do you want to buy?
Yeah.
Start buying today.
Don't even look at the chart.
Buy again in 3 months, buy again in another quarter, buy again after the, and just buy it. Don't worry about this. Because the thing is, when you look at these numbers, Brendan, what's going to happen is it's going to break the 50 to the downside. You're going to be like, that's my rule, I'm out. And then it breaks it, and then it...
Yeah. What happens the next time?
And then you're out, right? Buy the best companies and stay there. I think you're onto something with with Microsoft.
All right. Let's talk a couple of things here. I wanted to talk about airlines. We had a note on Tesla. I mean, we can revisit that if you want. I mean, it was just that price change that they made this week. I mean, I think the more important thing with Tesla, and we touched on this in the last episode, is the AI side of things. Elon came out this week, I think it was this week, early on this week, and said he wants 25% ownership of the company before he goes all in on sending Grok out into the world to wreak havoc amongst all these other AIs.
You know what this price... So Elon has a little bit of an ego, small one, obviously.
Couldn't notice.
And he's probably a little bit vindictive.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I just realized our shirts are remarkably similar today.
I mean, we're two handsome, well-dressed individuals. And by the way, if anybody wants to sponsor our clothing, we could figure that out.
Marketing at TraderTV.
Marketing at TraderTV.Live. And then I'll be like, look, I'm wearing like Tip Top Taylor's shirt.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah, let's go a little bit higher. Yeah, exactly. LVMH. I mean, I'll talk about that stock.
Let's talk about Elon.
Ramin's down with that.
Yeah.
Our production staff needs some
Louis.
Some Louis up in this build, up in this B. Okay. No, for me on Tesla, you know what I think he's doing this? I don't think he gives a shit.
Why would he?
It's a podcast. I can say that word.
Say whatever you want.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to.
Fire away.
No. I don't. Actually, you know what? Actually, this is one funny thing, and I've never really been like too much of a foul mouth. Like I don't know. I don't really. Anyways. No, but even if I wanted to get aggressive, I don't think I'd be like, F this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't really. Anyways, no, what I was getting at is I think because of what he's doing, you know what he's doing? You see Fisker, you see Lucid, you see Rivian.
Destroying
He is just basically saying, thank you for coming to my party.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Have a great evening.
But get the hell out.
Exactly.
Right now. And he is literally squashing everything.
Yeah.
Like, we thought Rivian was a buy. Like, I'm going to check this chart. Rivian has done nothing. Sure, they had a little surplus, so they missed a little bit on their deliveries. They didn't miss on their deliveries. They had too much surplus for the demand.
Exactly.
I believe
it was the manufacturing side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rivian, just in case we're not on the same page here. This was December 29th of Brendan, 23. So 2 weeks ago, about a year ago. Last year, Brendan, AKA about 20 days,
what
not
month
even.
Is it? It's January.
I said this on the show. I had Brian Shannon on the recap show, which, by the way, make sure you check out the recap show every day. It's so much fun. We have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun on all the shows. And I said, it was January 16th. And I'm like, what? Like.
That's a bit of a sell-off.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but I mean on the year. Can you believe it's January? What is it today? 19th,
it's insane. It's 18th.
Yeah.
I can't even keep up. No, the month is flying by.
But Rivian goes from $24, man, down to $15.50 today. And looking at this bottom from November, like we just showed you that Microsoft, Meta, all the big guys are up X amounts from that bottom.
Right.
Uber, all this. You can invest in a lot of different things, but not EVs.
I want to throw this at you. We learned at the end of last year from RJ, CEO of...
Which may or may not be you.
Some have said that we're going to get the R2 platform. He even said Q1. I've seen February floating around.
Ooh,
we're going to get a preview of the R2 platform, which is going to be their smaller, more affordable. I saw a note from an analyst who said, quote unquote, this will be their Tesla Model 3 moment. If you remember with Tesla, when they got to the Model 3, that's when it really up and to the righted on the actual chart. So if they can come up with something that more people can buy, more appealing for city driving per se, not necessarily a huge truck or a huge SUV, and actually make these things, because that's also what he promised, it would be great to have two people in this game, not necessarily just all Tesla or Tesla's party, as you said.
I really like the two-shot when we put it on the two-shot more.
Is there a two-shot?
I think there was. This shot, I like this shot. That's what they're waiting for, and I think that's what they need.
Yeah.
Is that moment, because the thing is, we just talked about rates and how bad those rates are right now, and I just feel that, like, who's buying a new car, let alone a more expensive car?
People are.
They?
Yes, I have noticed, Sean.
Apparently, used car prices are plummeting.
But I've noticed in the past couple of weeks, more and more of.
I saw a Lucid on the road, a Lucid Air.
I've seen two of the SUVs of this.
Yes.
So they're starting to deliver the R1S.
But are people buying it for like a status thing, like I own a Rivian and then that's it? Like, how many Rivians do you buy? Like, what I'm getting at is I wonder
how many Teslas do you buy?
One for every member of your family. The idea is that if Rivian's going to be a truck,
not all of us can compete with.
Well, I only have two people that drive.
4 cars in the family.
No, but what I'm getting at is it's a truck. It's like
you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
You have 3 kids.
Yeah, I have 3 kids. The thing is one's in university, and he's going to be. I have something to talk to you about that guy. That guy right now is at a Microsoft generative AI conference.
Saw him all over LinkedIn.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, I'm not even on LinkedIn. I got to get on LinkedIn. Okay, you saw him on? I didn't see him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, he added me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm very, very proud of him. But he's at something right now in Toronto. He's supposed to come here for lunch, and he wasn't here. Okay, but the idea is, what I'm getting at, I just wonder if it's a niche is more the better word. Like those trucks, once you buy it, like if you buy a Cybertruck, like you're not buying another Cybertruck.
No.
So I just want
you might, to that point, you might buy a Model 3.
Right.
As your daily.
So that's why I feel like this Rivian moment here, if they can come in and compete with Tesla, then maybe there's something there. I don't know. I really appreciate first mover advantage.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate Elon Musk being able to figure it out if the Tesla brand ever becomes diminished a little bit, which I think he kind of is doing that a little bit. People didn't like him with Twitter there. They didn't like all that, but I think we're all over it right now.
At the end of the day, it's the infrastructure. It's the potential for the self-driving. there's so many ifs and this and that with Tesla and with Elon, whereas all these other companies are still in early.
There could be more than one winner. As far as the stock is concerned, I would only, if you're playing EVs, just, excuse me, for those exact reasons is why I would only be buying Tesla at this point. I think if you want to take a shot, like Neil said, he was trapped up here at 23 or something on Rivian, but he didn't put all of his money in. I don't think any of us buys the stock for the first time and loads into it. I think that would be ridiculous. Yeah. And I think now you're getting into an area where you could probably average into 15 bucks. Remember, the thing about Rivian that we haven't talked about is Amazon and their delivery vehicles and the potential of that to be in the hundreds of thousands of vehicles potentially.
And they're only at 10,000.
Right. So that production is going to be there. Obviously, the margins aren't going to be huge. I mean, they're not making money on them, on anything yet, I don't believe. We'll wait for their next.
They're losing on the cars.
So, yeah, the only one that's making any kind of a profit on a car would be Tesla. Yeah. So as an investment, I think that's fine. But as Rivian, I think it's fun to watch it. I think it's going to be a good story. I'd rather play it with options.
We get Tesla next week.
Yes, yeah, what day is that?
I think it's Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday next week.
24th, yeah.
We saw last quarter over quarter, their margin got cut in half.
On purpose.
On purpose, true. He has also done a lot of tinkering on the pricing, not only in China once again, but in North America.
In Germany.
This quarter, and then Germany
a couple days ago.
That was a large.
That was 5G.
5,000?
5,000 euros maybe too.
For the Model Y, I think it was, for over in Germany. So do we see a single-digit margin again for Tesla? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if it matters or not. The Tesla stock, I mean,
it was 18.
It's been so bad.
Going back 2 quarters.
And what was it last quarter? You just said 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would it be better? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
No, unless parts got
What
cheaper.
happens if it's a 6 or a 7 at this point?
Well, the consensus is for 60 cents on the EPS. I don't know what that equates to for a margin, but at the end of the day, Tesla's been dead money for a little bit of time now.
Here's the weekly chart, if you want to grab that. And you called this when I brought up XLF.
Yeah.
You go back to almost the same month. I mean, this is the beginning of 2021.
So get a dividend too.
Yeah, beginning of 21. This thing's done nothing but go sideways.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you buying?
Now, I bought today.
Oh, you said that, yeah.
I got 209 and change today, and I want to buy a little bit more.
Do we not see 200 though?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think so. It looks
feel
like it right now. So I just think it's
200's here.
So we're heading into earnings season now. Obviously, you just mentioned it next week. Why rush into anything?
Yeah.
I buy a little bit now. Like, so for example, if I want to own $20,000 worth, maybe you buy 3,000 or 4,000. Like, we don't even have to talk about numbers. 15%, something like that. 10, 15%. Put it in now. So if they come out, if the margins are better, right, then the stock pops.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, because I was in Europe, and no, you were. We've all traveled over the last couple of years. I don't see Teslas as much anywhere else in the world that we do here in North America. Apparently in California, it's like 1 in every 3 cars or something like that. Yeah. You know, here it's starting to get more and more popular. Like last night at the rink, I was driving around. We had to find a spot. It honestly seemed like 1 of every 4 or 5 cars was either a Y or a 3. It seemed like. So I feel that people are buying them. They're in the ecosystem. I actually think that, what about Starlink? Like, I feel like there's a lot that can be added.
It's a great point.
To Tesla.
It's a great point.
That would create more of an interest for me to want to own one.
There's a lot of people even pointing to the fact that we might even see that as its own company, traded publicly.
My 9-year-old yesterday, I was talking about it with her. Because
Starlink?
Not Starlink, but I could. They're actually, kids these days are like really smart.
Have you seen that map? Sorry, go on.
No. But we were driving to practice yesterday, and I was like, how good would this be, you know, if you just didn't have to really drive at all? You just push the button, and it takes you there. FSD, full self drive.
Right, 100%.
And then she goes in the back. She goes, well, Dad, you got to get a Tesla. No, seriously. Like, I was just talking about.
Sean then picked up his phone and said,
I was just like, no, I got to
I'll take a black one.
No. I said, first of all, yeah. I like the blue. But the thing is that if the kids, it's that first mover advantage is what I'm getting at. They know Tesla, they love Tesla, and it's just going to continue to grow. And they have the name brand, they have the reliability. It's 1 accident for every 5.5 million miles with FSD, which is pretty incredible. I couldn't believe that stat when I saw it. I really like it. I like Uber for the same reason, for them to be able to switch over their. I think it was Hertz also, Brendo, that put in a huge order for their fleet.
No, they trimmed their fleet.
But it was something about all Model 3s or something.
Yeah, no, they were dealing with lower demand for EV rentals and actually and sold a bunch.
But the idea is that I feel like that's where we're going. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for companies to switch over into EV, and it's too bad.
From a fleet basis, yeah, no, I agree. This is not it, but this is a picture of it. You can actually go and see an interactive map that you can spin, like actually grab with a mouse and spin. But these are all Starlink satellites.
Do we have a number of how many are out there?
There's thousands.
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands. That's the coverage of Starlink right now. It's just.
I went. You know what's
amazing.
Cool? Google Earth.
It's kind of like that. No, the site I was thinking of, that again, that's just a picture of it. But the site I was thinking of is kind of like that, where you can zoom in and zoom out.
I got home one day, and my kid, he was just upstairs playing Roblox or something like that. I went into his room when I was talking with him, and he wasn't doing Roblox. He was on Discord talking with his friends back and forth. And you know what they were doing, Brendo? They were screen sharing, because you can do that on Discord. It's super easy. They were basically dropping pins in different parts of the world and literally zooming. It was ridiculous. And zooming in, and it's like, all right, like boom, put it right at the Eiffel Tower. You could zoom in right into it and look around as if you are
standing on the street.
Yes. And dude, they were dropping them like in random places in Africa that had nothing there. Just looking around. There's a lion. There's this.
So cool.
There's Sharif in Egypt or wherever.
So cool.
It was just like looking around, and I was like, oh my God, my son is 11 years old and getting to experience all of this.
That's amazing.
So that's why I push forward with science and technology.
100%.
And if Starlink, like how cool is that when Ukraine was having some issues with power and internet and all that, he pushed over there. He pushed satellites over Ukraine. Yeah. And again, not a political thing, but to be able to do that at any time, and Tesla's an American company, I like.
It's massive. A few other highlights coming up next week on the earnings front. We'll get some airline
for the most?
Specific, and I only say this because we were going to talk about Boeing, but who cares? We've beaten that story to death. Alaska is reporting. Who it's not their fault, obviously.
ALK action.
They had the door spontaneously pop out of the plane, if you haven't seen those videos yet. UAL, we get AAL, we get Love, we get Intel, we get Netflix, we get Tesla, as we said, coming up next week. So it's officially earnings.
I have something for one good thing, but my one good thing was going to be earnings season.
Yeah, thank God.
Because like we're day traders, man, and you need catalysts to do stuff. Now, I don't love to trade names on earnings, but you know what I like to do? Like when Intel reports, we'll look at Intel, you might as well look at it, but like that's going to affect AMD, it's going to affect NVIDIA, it's going to affect the SMA, it's going to affect all of that. You have Netflix, we have talk with Disney. Let's see if Netflix is the king of the streaming. If Netflix is seeing a down drive in daily active users and streamed hours, like that's going to be bad too, man. That's going to be bad for Amazon that wants to charge you now $3.99 or whatever it is per month to see
even if you're Prime.
That's what I'm saying. For the streaming.
Yeah.
That's going to be bad news for Disney. That's going to be bad news for Paramount. Everything. So I think Netflix holds the key a little bit to some of these media companies, obviously, as we move forward. And then I don't know. I'm not a big.
How much is going to be put towards the ad-supported tier, though? I think. In relation to that,
they said that was booming.
But that's what I'm saying. So even if subs come off a little bit, say the full paid subs come off a little bit,
we'll look at
if they see a huge uptick on the ad supported side of things, and the ad revenue number is actually to the upside,
then I'm buying the living, you know what, out of Meta and Google.
Agreed.
Because AdSense and ad space, that's what it's all about. That's how Meta makes money. That's how Google makes money, forcing you to look at things. We talked about that. Going into doomsday with this scrolling, these ads are everywhere. Yeah. So if consumers are willing to do that and watch ads and pay for a little bit of their subscription, get a couple dollars off of that, then yeah, man, ad space is absolutely monstrous. And with AI, it's going to get better. It's going to get more specific. And Netflix, they put out those numbers a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I don't know. Time's going so fast, where they're starting to now show the top shows and what people are watching and views. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like they released them, and then Disney ran into the closet. They all just like, get out of here. They don't even want to show their face because their numbers are just being dwarfed by Netflix. Embarrassed, basically, is the word I'm looking for. Like Ted Lasso, all of a sudden, Apple thought that it was pretty hot, and then Netflix just dropped some random show that's like tripling it or something. Anyways, I think Netflix holds the key to that. And then we'll wait. I mean, we'll wait, because Tesla is going to be awesome as well. We'll see what that comes through. EV names getting kicked to the curb. We'll see if that can have any effect. So for me, we wait for Tesla. We wait for Tesla on Wednesday. We wait for Netflix on Tuesday. And I'm not super excited about any of the airlines. I've never invested in them. But I do think Boeing's investable here, because look at this chart for Boeing. It just bounced off 200 as if it didn't even mean anything. Like that 200, you come to, like, Brendan, it's almost to the penny here. Like that bottom is 199.35 or 199. Like that's an incredible move back up to the upside.
And that's without a headline supporting that move.
Yeah, well, today we got the headline that they've now inspected 40 of the 171.
But Sean, 40 of the
Yeah, but no problems.
No, great. But what I'm saying is it's taken them 2 weeks to do 40. I get it. Planes are complex and complicated, and it probably takes a lot of time. But I felt like that might have been like a weekend job to send out a team.
And you know how many little things? Like this was like a bolt that wasn't fastened. Like,
no,
are they checking like bolts on like people's
it.
chairs? Like what exactly? This is a serious business. Yeah. And no, I love that bounce off two bills. I actually think for a trade right now, let's talk about a possible trade. I think you can, and we talked about buying Adobe last week. I think you could buy Boeing off this 200. If it breaks it, you just get out. You just hope that you're not part of an overnight move where you can't get out at 200. Like all of a sudden, the report comes out at, I don't know, 9 in the morning and the market's not open yet, or even 5 at night, something like that, and you're maybe not at your desk, you don't have that stop order in or something like that, and maybe they found a problem in that last 130 of them. You know, then you could see a push down.
It could open at 200.
That's what no, if it opens at 200, that's great, because then you can punch out.
Yeah.
But what I'm worried about is it opening at 180. And all of a sudden now that's a little bit of a sort of a black swan.
Here's my question on that, though, on that philosophy. Why?
Why what?
Like, why?
Why be a monopolistic company, Brendan?
That has nothing but reputation problems and can't get out of its own way on manufacturing.
Look what happens when no one's talking about reputation. The thing's a monster. The bottom here, Brendan, before doors started falling off, was 176. You went from 176 in October up to 270. $100 clean with almost not a red candle until we had this problem.
And doors started falling off.
But that's when you buy. That is when
I hear you.
You buy when there's blood in the streets. Some famous guy said that. We all know who it is.
Shout out to Uncle Warren.
WB, baby.
A couple other things just to keep in mind coming up next week. Again, prelim look at GDP for Q4. We get PCE then. I think it's Friday. So we got to wait till the end of the week next week, but that's going into the Fed the following week. So that'll be the last inflation note before the Fed announcement. I think it's the last day of the month, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the 31st of January.
Yeah, it's the last day.
Yep.
So a lot to look forward to coming up next week. Again, we're in the
Monster Week. Join us every day, man. 8:30, TraderTV.Live. We're on absolutely all day.
Literally all day.
Literally.
An hour
we
pre-market,
do the podcast after.
30 minutes in the aftermarket. Come check it out on YouTube.
People,
hit subscribe, hit like, hit all the things.
Hit it. Tell people about it.
We always wrap the show up with a look at one good thing, which is
we're not wrapping it up.
Which is
you didn't ask me for a stock pick, man. We
just talked about like 5.
No, I said Boeing. Boeing at 200. But I have another one.
Okay,
That's why I want to do it before we do.
You're gonna buy this, really?
Yes.
Okay, go. Why?
This is why I have to discuss it.
Okay, go.
Remember what we talk about. When stocks are getting beat up, you have to try to find sometimes, there's a canary in a coal mine always, but sometimes you got to sort of look through the trees to see the forest, or look through the forest to see
through the window to see the road?
Yes.
Something like that.
Let's go over. I spend enough money with these
I feel like we need a drum roll at this point or something.
Let's go over and talk a little bit. Let's go. Here we go. We'll do a little bang. I don't know if they can hear that. They probably cannot. Can they, Fabian? No? Okay, that's irrelevant.
Sean's magical stock pick.
We're going to talk about Nike, baby.
This is not financial advice. Do not trade off of what we're talking about.
This is financial advice. I like Nike down here at $100 because, again, we just talked about why Boeing.
Okay, before we go on. We're talking about Boeing.
I'm going to give you reasons.
And I want to hear them. We're talking about Boeing. We're talking about Nike. Boeing at 200, Nike at 100. These are trades, yes?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
These are trades. What are we talking about?
Not necessarily investments.
These are investments and trades. What do you mean by that? Like hold this forever?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to give you, but I'm going to give stops.
You're looking to take advantage of a significant area or significant level, and then play it out.
I mean, okay, so when we're talking about Nike or Boeing or anything like that, and I know we're just kind of talking tongue-in-cheek, anything can happen, especially with Boeing.
Of course.
Like, I don't think that you should be buying Boeing I think you should buy right here at 210 or whatever it is, against the 200. If it breaks the 200, that's 5% of risk, right? $10 on 200.
Sure.
I think the upside, once they clear all of this, it goes back to where it was, 270. So right there, that's already 30% higher. So that's great. So already 6-1 on that. And it's a monopolistic thing.
Yep.
I feel that very similar about Nike.
No, I just want to clarify. This is not necessarily.
No, this is not
we're
like,
saying
hey,
buy
this is the
Boeing
best
today
trade of all time.
and then put it in your pocket for 50
These are swing trades that I think that people can get out of if they need to, okay? So here we go. Nike, look at this, man. The analyst breakdown, all right? Do you know how many analysts are supposed to be smart?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's why I kind of like, okay.
Dan Ives spends 3 hours a day at the Apple Store.
What?
That's what he said. Dude puts in hours.
That's, okay. Okay, so Nike, right now, 40 analysts covering it. Only 2 negative analysts. 1 is a sell, and 1 is a strong sell. 11 are holds, 10 are buys, and 17 are strong buys, okay? So we have the analysts there. They're seeing something there, all right? So we'll find, get rid of that, all right? The other thing I want to talk about is this. And we're showing this right here. Nike is the king of athletic apparel. Now, what do I mean by that?
By far, yeah.
They're by far.
Yeah.
They're selling 51.5 billion, okay? We're just talking about revenue. This is 12-month trailing revenue. 50 billion. The next closest is Adidas at 23 billion. Then Puma, then everybody's favorite company, at least one of mine, Lululemon at 9.2 billion, and then it just gets. So, when you're talking about having a strong consumer, when you're talking about people having jobs and being employed, when you're talking about youth worried about Instagram, worried about TikTok, worried about their image. I was at the Travis Scott concert, and I know that he has a deal with Nike. You're laughing, but it would probably be the best concert you've ever been at. Is everybody there are wearing Nikes? All right? The youth likes this. This is a stock that has a chance to get going. The problem with Nike is China, in my opinion. And the problem with everything right now, Brendan, is China. We've seen FXI go to the downside. We've seen Alibaba get hit. But you know what's still doing okay? What about Temu? What's up with that? Why are people spending money in China? And what are they spending money on? I'll tell you what they're spending money on, Brendan. Nike products, my guy. So I think
maybe
Nike
that's why their economy is collapsing.
Plus, direct to consumer, their app is hot. A couple of years ago for Christmas, my family bought me shoes that they created themselves on the app. So they're taking out the middleman, baby.
You're not concerned about
See ya, Foot Locker. Tiger who?
Exactly.
So I'm not concerned about any of that stuff, but I am concerned about price action, and price action is king. So the trade, no, it's not good. But the thing is, you're just right now, just in the last 3 days, it's down 5%, so that's good. I like that. And not only that, you're at $100, but I think you have these areas here to be concerned with. Like, this was their last report, it was down here. All right, this was back in October, in their last report, September 29th. Yeah, then all of a sudden, boom, it went from $90 up to $130. Sure, everything boomed up. I get it, okay? But now it's pulling back. They have inventory problems. There's a few issues here. There's no doubt about it. But I'm looking at Nike here. Buy it here at 100. Buy a little bit more if we get into the mid-90s. And then ultimately, if you're really worried about this thing, that bottom is $89. So I think for 10%, if your account can withhold 10%, I like Nike to make it back. All it has to do, Brendo, is get right back to the 50 period. That's your 10% there. That's the risk. You trim some off. You're playing with house money. I like Nike. That's your trade of the week.
Sold. All right.
That was easy.
Can we now go on?
Sure, let's go. What,
right.
Brendan,
I want to buy
there's
Tesla.
one thing we do at the end of every week.
Watch how fast I'll be. I want to buy Tesla at 200.
Yeah, me too.
What's your one good thing?
Did I give mine first last week, or you gave yours first?
I can't even remember.
All right, my one good thing is I don't have any fancy graphics, Brendan, to show anybody.
Neither do I, actually, this week.
My one good thing is, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show, sleeping in your own damn bed.
Hell yeah.
Okay, because recently, last weekend, 3 nights, 2 nights, hotel.
Same.
With my
horrible.
I cannot get to sleep.
Horrible.
Not only that.
We sound so old right now, but.
Yeah. No, but I honestly, I feel like when you're not in your own bed, you're waking up, you're setting alarms. There's all this kind of crazy stuff. You're not comfortable. Everything. So and again, I'm sleeping the next 2 nights.
Enjoy
hotel. Again, so I look forward to sleeping in your own bed.
Agreed.
So that's my one good thing.
I was at a, should I even say that? I was at a Westin.
You can say that, yeah.
Why not?
Wasn't good. No? All right, so we don't need any sponsors for that.
No, but shout out to Marriott and all those.
Yeah, I like the Marriott. Weston Harbor. That's the last one that I stayed at, and their bed was really comfortable.
No, I was up north.
Peloton in the room?
Negative.
Oh, no, it's not them.
Negative.
Somebody else. No, one of them has them. Hilton, I think.
Really?
Has Peloton. Yeah, we talked about that.
I stayed in a hotel in Boston that had Peloton.
There you go.
All right.
Good show, dude.
We're
done. What?
On Netflix.
Lift? Oh.
The Lift.
Never heard of it.
It's okay.
What is it about?
It's going to be my one good thing, but it's, oh my God, I can't think of his name. Comedian.
Was that the guy there was some guy on Netflix that was really getting hammered for stuff he was saying. I have no idea what it is.
It's okay. I'm going to call it.
How's this your one good thing, but you can't describe what it is? What is this thing? Is it The Lift?
The Lift, yeah.
On Netflix. Oh, there
I watched
it is.
it. I actually watched
it. You know how I spelled it Lyft there because it's stupid stuff.
That's what we do.
It's hilarious. What is this thing?
I watched it last weekend. It's okay.
Dude, this is from 1983?
No. There's a new one.
Okay.
There's a new one in 2023. Why can't I think of this guy's name?
Is it a horror movie? The other one was.
This is Kevin Hart. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It's an action movie.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Hart should never play a lead role. That's all I'm going to say. Kevin Hart is
and
far
he probably
better.
Has like 50 lead roles. Oh, I see it here.
No, but he's far better as a supporting character. He's far better in the movies with The Rock.
Right.
Where they
get tired of
each other.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
He's not a lead character, but the movie itself was good. We went way long.
I gotta reach over so far.
Have a fantastic.
We went way too long. I gotta take my kids to my parents. Oh,
I know.
God, okay.
Have a nice long weekend. Back-to-back long weekends for you.
Yeah, I'm going to take some more time off too, my guy.
I like that. That is episode 10 of the Markets Podcast. Come back Monday on YouTube. We're live every single day. Again, the market is open. Check us out on YouTube, TraderTV.Live. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the comments, leave us a note. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
Ciao.